morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world right now. And welcome to today's video on Falls from my end, West Ham Online here. Today I'm going to be weighing up the pros and cons of both Kurt Zouma and Nikola Milenkovic. And I'm going to deliver you my verdict on who I think West Ham should go for, and who I think's better value for money, who I think's the better player, etc, etc. I'm hoping this video goes out before we make a decision on which player to get, because there has been a few rumours going around that we're going to be going for either player in recent days, and I've heard that one deal may be advancing quicker than the other. But anyway, I'll get into it now. Firstly, I'd like to talk about Kurt Zouma. Now, if I'm honest with you, I don't think Kurt Zouma is worth upwards of 25 million, which we are being quoted by Chelsea, according to numerous sources such as ex-West Ham employee, Sky Sports. Basically, everyone knows the deal is going to be 25 million or more. The thing with Kurt Zouma for me is I think he's a bit clumsy. Now, I don't want to liken him to Issa Diop because I think he's better than Issa Diop. But they certainly have similar attributes in the fact that they're rash. I don't think either has great positional sense or marking, but they're both good in the tackle. Brilliant in the air, especially in Zouma's case. I'll be honest, the man's incredible in the air. He scored 5 goals last season, which tells you everything considering he's a defender. Scored some great headers from some corners. Crystal Palace and Burnley are 2 games I remember him scoring in. But anyway, yeah, I think Kurt Zouma is okay on the ball. I don't think he's brilliant, despite what the stats may tell you. You watch him and he just looks a bit rash on the ball, in my opinion. A bit clumsy. But he can be a good defender. I think he's quick as well. You've got to give him that. He's got outstanding recovery pace. But I do worry for him in Moyes' deep line because the attributes that I've highlighted that he's not good at, in terms of marking, he's a bit rash, positional sense at times can be poor. Don't get me wrong, he's better at these things than Diop. But I just think there's better options out there because the outstanding attributes that Zouma has doesn't suit our deep line, which we like to play. Which brings me on to my next player, Nikola Milenkovic. Milenkovic has been outstanding for Fiorentina in the last 2 to 3 seasons. Now, there was rumours going around in 2018 that Man United had a 52 million bid rejected for him. And I think that tells you everything about how good he can be. 21-year-old at the time, obviously still at Fiorentina now. I'd say the hype around him has not died, but I'm surprised at the fact that more big clubs aren't in for him, especially considering he's in the last year of his contract and the fee rumoured is just 15 million. So we're coming to my first pro here compared to Zouma. Milenkovic is cheaper. Straight away is cheaper. Now, Milenkovic is the best in the air in Serie A as well, despite how good Zouma is in the air, so they're both good at that. Milenkovic has the best success rate in the air. I believe it was 77.9. I wrote an article on it the other day, actually, if you want to check it out on Vavel. Vavel Scout Report on Nikola Milenkovic, if you'd like to check that out. But yeah, as I say, he's outstanding in the air. Just like Zouma, to be fair to Zouma. But I believe that Milenkovic is better on the ball. He looks more comfortable on the ball. It's just something you'd need to check with your eyes. I know it sounds stupid, but people often say nowadays the eye test, because their passing stats are actually quite similar in terms of success rate. But you know what I mean. For example, Ogbonna looks more comfortable on the ball than Diop, but the stats actually don't really suggest this. So he's also more comfortable on the ball than Craig Dawson, but I don't believe any of our 3 centre-backs are great on the ball. So Milenkovic, I think, from what I've seen, is really comfortable on the ball. He looks confident in possession. He can tick it around. He can launch long passes. Zouma's a bit different. One game I'd like to highlight, the West Brom-Chelsea game, when West Brom beat them 5-2. First goal, I'll run through his mistakes on the goals. The first goal, he passed it too short to Milenkovic, an error in possession. Not Milenkovic, sorry, Kovacic. And Chelsea ended up losing the ball. West Brom went on and scored. Now, in this game, you could actually say he was at fault for all 5 goals. I'm not going to blame all 5 on him, but this does highlight all the things that I've said about him, which he isn't good at. For example, the 5th goal, my God, his positioning was horrendous. He was outside the area, running back, just running back slowly. The striker for West Brom, Diagne, got the ball in the box. No centre-back near him because the centre-back who was meant to be in that position was Zouma and he was nowhere to be seen. Simple finish for Diagne. So if you want to go and watch that game back, you actually see that you could blame all 5 on him, to be honest. The long ball by Sam Johnston, once again highlighting his positional error. Literally, Sam Johnston got an assist for Mateus Pereira because Zouma stood out and wasn't aware of he wasn't aware of where his other defenders were. So Milenkovic, in my opinion, is a similar standard in the air. I'd say he's better on the ball, better value for money, and he's younger. Now, Milenkovic is 23 years old. Zouma is 26. Now, both are a decent age, don't get me wrong. And as I say, I do think Zouma is a decent defender. But on his day, he can be a calamity. And I do think Milenkovic has better attributes than him. People are going to bring up the Prem proven thing. And while I believe that could go a decent distance in terms of he'll settle in quicker, I don't think it's that much to be cared about, to be honest. Prem proven, there's been players that have gone from one Prem team to another and flopped. It's just not something that matters too much. For example, Fernando Torres. For example, Alexis Sanchez. Some foreign players come in and do well. Some come in and don't do well. It's just one of those things. But yeah, I think they're both good physically. I'd probably say Zouma's a bit stronger, to be fair to him. But do I think that really matters for the way we play? No. And as I said, recovery pace, Zouma is better. But we play a deep line. Do we really need a quick centre-back? No, not in my opinion. I think Milenkovic has decent pace as well, don't get me wrong, but Zouma's just the quicker of the pair. So yeah, in conclusion, I think Milenkovic is better on the ball. Similar standard in the air, but if you want to, for an argument's sake, you'd probably say Milenkovic is better because he has a better success rate. But yeah, so a similar standard in the air. Milenkovic is cheaper than Zouma. Zouma is quicker, however. So there's a few things you could give to either player, but I think from what I've said and what I've explained, most of the pros for Milenkovic outweigh the pros for Zouma. In my opinion, Milenkovic would be the better deal. The only negative to Milenkovic is he's used to playing in a back 3 for the last 2 seasons. So it might take him a bit of time to adjust to the back 2. But he has played in back 2s on many occasions in the past for Fiorentina and also for the Serbian national team. But yeah, that's my conclusion to the 2 players. And going back to that back 3 thing finally, we do also play a back 3, as you know, when Arthur Masuaku is fit. So both players have experience in that. But I'd say Zouma's probably more adjusted to the back 4 at the moment. But from what I've said and the conclusions I've made, Milenkovic, in my opinion, would be the better deal. Thank you for listening.